Welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast, your friendly guide through all the ups and downs of life. We're here to remind you that every woman has the strength to take charge of her journey and make her dreams come true. Each week, we'll share heartwarming stories and helpful tips from amazing women who have faced their own challenges and come out stronger. Tune in, get inspired, and let's start this exciting journey towards achieving your dreams together. The Women Lighthouse, your guide to a brighter tomorrow. Hello, ladies. You're welcome to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you on the show today. So today we continue our series on unleashing your potential as a woman. And in our last episode, we talked about discovering your giftings and your skills. And today we're going to go on to talk about how you can develop your skills and your giftings and talents once you have discovered them. And like I did in the last episode, I'll be using my journey to share with you ways in which I developed my giftings and my skills after discovering them. So let's be honest, we all have something within us that sets us apart and that is unique and that was inbuilt when we were created by God. But often these gifts stay underdeveloped and hidden. Sometimes we even ignore them. We know they exist, but we don't necessarily give expression to them. So basically, from this episode, it's important for us to know that once you discover what your unique gifting is, for you to maximize it, you need to develop it. Any skill that is within you that is dormant will not produce fruit. That skill within you can be likened to a seed. And once that seed is planted and watered, that's when it's going to yield fruit. So if you plant it and you don't necessarily water it, the seed will die. That's also the same thing when it comes to that potential within you. Once you discover it and you plant it, you need to nurture it by watering it. So I'll just go right into how you can develop your potential as a woman. The first thing you need to do is to serve. You need to be able to exercise that gift by serving. What do I mean when I say serving? You need to be able to consistently practice the use of that gift. You need to seek for opportunities that would allow you to put that gift into use. That's your gift or your potential is like a muscle. The more you use them, the stronger it becomes. So, for instance, in my own case, like I shared in the last episode, I knew that I had this gift of leadership. So, for instance, when there's an opportunity for leadership, maybe voluntarily, oh, okay, we need someone to I remember when I entered the university, we had this what we call matriculation. So I joined the fellowship, youth fellowship there. I attended University of Calabar. So my fellowship was called Youth Fellowship under the chapel. So in year one, we had what we called a matriculation fellowship, and they needed somebody. I think on the first day when they asked all year one students to wait behind, they needed to choose someone that would act as a representative and be the year one coordinator. So there was a senior person who was like in year two to guide them, but they needed a representative. And nobody knew me. So it's not like you were nominated based on what you've been observed doing. So it was more like, oh, okay, voluntarily, who wants to be like the year one representative? And I just volunteered. I was like, okay, I would want to. I already knew I had that gift of leadership. So when there was an opportunity that presented itself for me to lead, I seized that opportunity. So for you to be able to develop your gift, seek for opportunities that require you to use your gift and go for it. Don't limit yourself. I know recently also I just participated in this the Covenant Nation community group, and the our coordinator said, okay, in that case, he had noticed my participations, he had noticed my consistency, and he now nominated me and was like, oh, please, I would want you to be our class captain. I was given an opportunity. So I had the opportunity to say yes, or the option to say yes or to say no. And because I knew that I had that gift of leadership, I decided to say yes. Not because it was convenient, not because I desired it, but I knew it was an opportunity for me to serve and for me to sharpen my gift of leadership. So there have been several opportunities like that. So it's important for you to seek for opportunities to exercise your skill or your potential. So the next thing is mentorship. Mentorship cannot be overemphasized because if you're going to achieve results with lesser mistakes and better guidance, it is through mentorship. So it's important for you to allow yourself to be tutored and allow yourself to be provided with feedback. And this is what mentorship seeks to achieve. So, mentorship allows for tutoring, for provision of feedback, for accountability. So, growth comes when you step outside your comfort zone and you invite others to challenge you. So, like now in my university days, I know that I had senior friends. I had I had my peers that were my friends, but I had like in year one, three people that I built friendship with. I identified challenged me, and I identified I would want to be like them. I knew I had the gifting of leadership and they were leaders. So there was this club we had called Treasure Club. It was more like a club that allowed for people to give back to people. So I was nominated to be part of the club, and in the club, two of those my senior friends were in the club. As at then, we were not friends, but as a result of being in that club, it drew me towards them because I knew that they had the same potential that I had, and they were already maximizing that potential. I knew that they had the same potential I had, and they were already maximizing their potential. So I decided to get close to them. I decided to be friends with them. More like they were like my big sisters. Until today, we are still friends. So it was easy for them to guide me and push me in the direction in which I needed to go. So that's what mentorship does for you. So you need to find someone who is already ahead of you and would help push you to the next level. So in my own case, I had so many mentors. Like I know that also I desired to grow in my prayer life at some point in time. So I sought out a mentor. She was a lecturer then, Mrs. Idonesit Eteng. She's still a lecturer now. But my point is she wasn't even my lecturer. She was someone I had to like reach out to and request to be mentored. And we now used to have like these weekly prayers. Same thing with one of my pastors who is now my spiritual father, Reverend Steve Obona. I admired him a lot. I looked up to him. And at some point, I had to build a relationship, get close to him, and now tell him that I want you to be my spiritual father. I want to learn from you. I want to submit to your mentorship. Until today, who are still there. So there are so many of them. I want to call names because these are people that mean a lot to me. Blessing Onyeka, Blessing Mbipom, Iboro, so many of them. Sometimes you may even need to seek mentorship from people that you have not met physically. It may start that way. For instance, through books, like for me, like Miles Monroe, like I told you in the last episode, I had to go sit and devour his books. So mentorship is in two folds. People that you can have close relationship with and can give you feedback and closely tutor you based on your unique personalities and your uniqueness, or the general mentors that you don't necessarily have access to, at least at a season of your life, that can basically just feed into you and you can just grow from there. So the next thing you can do to develop your gift is to invest in learning. So this is now like a continuation of the second point. Invest in learning and personal development. So now this is like a form of mentorship, because when you invest in learning, you learn from people who have the expertise and the experience. So for me, I knew that I loved women development. So I invested in learning from people like Elizabeth George, Joyce Meyer, Hida Lindsay, Mildred Kingsley Okonkwo. These were women that were doing what I love to do and what I found interesting: family life, women development, relationships. Even when I was in school, I remember then late Pastor Ezekiel Atang, I used to attend Single Frank Talk with my friend Ibora and Ufoniso. And he helped me in setting the pace for my family life. I know I also used to learn from Focus on the Family, Proverbs 31 Woman, and family life today. So my point is just seek for opportunities to learn based on what your skill is. What do you want to build your what skill do you want to develop? For instance, public speaking. I knew that I had a problem and a challenge with public speaking. So I had to learn. I had to read books on public speaking, listen to podcasts on public speaking, and just build it from there. And all these points intertwine with each other. Once you learn from people and are mentored by people, you seek opportunities to learn. You just refine your gifts and your potential. So if you need to take a course, if you need to read a book, if you need to find a mentor, it's important to invest time and even your finances into refining your skills and your potential. So there's this inspiring quote that helps me. It says, "Your gift is your responsibility. It's not enough to know that you have this gift, but it's important to know that you must steward it well." So, ladies, now that you have discovered what your potential is, what are you going to do today to develop your potential? My three keys is: seek opportunities to serve, invest in learning and personal development of that skill, and seek for mentors who can help push you to the next level of maximizing that skill. So, if you haven't listened to my previous episode on discovering your potential, put the link in the description box so that you can listen to it, because this is a series. Also, I would love to hear from you. I love to hear your feedback. What do you do to develop your giftings and your skills? And one thing you need to understand is that when it comes to development of your potential, it's not a one-off thing. It is continual. You keep growing in it, you keep growing in it, you keep growing in it. As opportunities present itself and you become better, you keep growing and you keep building. So share with me in the comment section what you do to develop your skills and your potential. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your friends and other ladies out there. Until I come your way on our next episode, see you at the top where you belong. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. We really hope today's episode has given you some great tools, resources, and a boost of confidence to take charge of your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. You can also follow us on our social media handle for even more tips and a wonderful community that's all about supporting your growth. Join us next time for more uplifting stories and encouraging insights. Until we meet again, keep shining bright, stay inspired, and embrace your unique path to a better tomorrow.